I'm stuck. My microphone's wrapped around my leg. Time to drink. Just sit here and drink. No, gotta go. I gotta go. Hi everyone, Erin from the Wine Sisters here, and welcome to our channel where every week we teach you how to eat, drink, and entertain like a pro. And speaking of eating, drinking, and entertaining, we are quickly approaching the Easter long weekend. So if you're observing, you probably are having a whole boatload of people over to your house, or you are going over to somebody's house. So there's a whole lot of eating, drinking, and entertaining going on. Now, my personal motto is that I love to cook, I love to make drinks, but not if it actually takes me away from eating and drinking. So in the name of easy, elegant entertaining, what the Wine Sisters is all about, I'm gonna show you how to make 2 excellent cocktails with only 2 ingredients. 3 if you count the garnish. Really, it doesn't get any easier than that, and it's super tasty. In fact, if you saw CTV's The Social, I was on that show earlier this month, and the people went wild for it. That's where we showed 4 cocktails. So today I'm only gonna show you 2. Maybe in the future I'll show you the other 2. Unfortunately, the video didn't manage to get uploaded to their YouTube, so I'm gonna do it here and show you exactly how to do it. But really, there's not even a recipe that's necessary. Let's start with my favorite. So in November, 6 or 8 months ago, I was lucky enough to go on a work trip to Portugal. I was in the beautiful town of Porto. If you haven't gone, I cannot recommend it enough. Make it the priority on your travel itinerary. So I was in Porto, I was in Vinho Verde, which is their northern wine region, and I loved it. That just was a salve for my soul. I was sitting on the open air in the warm November sun, and it was fabulous. Listening to all the Portuguese conversations surrounding me, no idea what they were talking about, of course, but when the server said, well, have what everybody's having, Porto tonico, I was a little nervous, like port and tonic, but in the vein of do one thing every day that scares you, I did, and let me tell you kids, fortune favors the brave because it's excellent, and it's now Porto tonico on high rotation during my aperos. And this is one of the drinks that I will be serving this long weekend. So super easy. You can choose, as you can see, you can choose a highball glass, you can choose a wine glass, you can choose your garnish. I'm gonna do a wine glass because I think it makes it a smidge fancier, and I'm nothing if not fancy. I'm going to use white port. Now, white port is very important here. Do not get confused with the red port. Red port is for other things, equally delicious, but not for this drink. So you want to seek out white, dry port. The difference between white and red port is simply the grapes that are used. And for dry port, as opposed to sweet dessert port, dry port means the grapes, the wine is just fermented until all of those sugars are, or most of those sugars are all fermented into wine before being fortified by a stronger spirit. So I'm gonna say for a big glass like this, I'm gonna give it like, let's say a 2-ounce pour. You can measure if you're fairly fastidious, or you're gonna freehand it, just like I am. And I'm gonna do a couple, I always find that about 3 Mississippis equal out to be 1 ounce. So I'm just gonna go 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi. So I've got 6 Mississippis. That's probably going to be about 2 ounces. Ta-da! We're not done there. Now, pick your premium tonic of choice. In Europe, they have a tendency to really like the Schweppes brand. This is not sponsored, but Schweppes if you want to. I'm not gonna stop you. They seem to really like the Schweppes brand. I find it's a slightly different flavor profile than what we get in Canada, but in the name of purity, in the name of tradition, I'm going for it. Plus this is a cute little can. So we just top that up right on in there. Pretty. So now we've got this beautiful, now in Portugal, of course, the world is your oyster when it comes to garnish. It seems to me that cinnamon and lemon is the traditional garnish, but I've also seen bartenders use orange and rosemary or whatever tickles their fancy. And who doesn't like their fancy tickled? Especially when it comes to cocktail hour. I'm going to do a hybrid of both. I'm going to use the rosemary. I like how the rosemary picks up on the tonic. And I'm going to put in a healthy wheel of lemon as well. Put that right in there, and I can't resist. I gotta have a sip because it's so good. It's so aromatic. It's so delicious. Hang on. That's a full on you. Full yes from Erin. Okay. Now, if you're looking for something slightly on the, I don't know, different side, if you want to travel over to France, be my guest. I also, pre-pandemic, was in a place called Cassis. That's in the south, beautiful waters. You're probably somewhat familiar with it. And you might be familiar with the gorgeous blackberry liqueur that comes out of there by the same name, called Cassis. So I'm gonna make something called a kir. This is not to be confused with a kir royale. A kir royale mixes cassis with sparkling wine, A kir simply is a cassis with a white burgundy, in this case an aligoté. That's typically what they use, but ultimately you could use any dry neutral white wine. And guys, honestly, watch this. So I'm just gonna put in, because the cassis is quite a concentrated liqueur, so I'm just gonna put in a 1/2 ounce, just about that much. And then I'm going to just top it up with some chilled white wine. I'm using aligoté because that is the tradition. The history of the kir, like all classic cocktails, is a little bit murky, but let's roll with it. So legend has it that the local priest of Dijon, who also was the mayor of Dijon, one of the bigger cities in Burgundy, well, during World War II's occupation, Burgundy had their cellars absolutely pillared by the invading forces. They were robbed of all of their red wines. So in what was really a bleak time, this inventive priest, this inventive mayor, he decided cassis wasn't all that far, so to grab some of those liqueurs and add it to what is a lovely little sipping wine, but not overly complex. So adding it to the simple white wine of Burgundy, adding a little cassis to it, it mimicked the color of the red, but also was a little bit festive and offered some brightness in an otherwise dreary time. It was so tasty and it went over so well, he made it the official, allegedly, a legend has it, he made it the official drink of Dijon City Hall. Only the French, you gotta love them. So this is a beautiful little simple coiffer, white wine, a little cassis, pretty color. If you wanted to float some blackberries on top, you could. I prefer not to because I find the berries bang into your lips and it's not a very elegant way to drink. So I just like a simple, easygoing kir. And that's gonna be absolutely great for my Easter celebrations. We've got just a soupçon of that blackberry sweetness coming through, the liveliness and brightness of the white wine. You pair this with some runny cheeses, like a Délice de Bourgogne from that same region, you got yourself a happy little cocktail hour. All right, wine lovers, 2 easy peasy cocktails that punch well above their weight for style, class, value, and taste. So these are what I'll be sipping this lovely spring long weekend. I'd love to know what you're sipping as well, so let me know in the comments below. And speaking of which, while you're in those comments, if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends, give us a little like, let us know what you're thinking. It would be great if you would subscribe and maybe even hit that bell so you can be alerted to every single time we drop a video, which is every week. So until next week, kids, I'm Erin from the Wine Sisters. Stay well, drink better, and with these cocktails, much, much better.